about why nonprofit executive directors get overwhelmed. Now, of course, there are a bazillion reasons that could cause you to be overwhelmed, but I want to tell you the 3 areas where I see nonprofit executive directors getting overwhelmed, because once you are empowered with this knowledge, you will know the steps you'll need to take to not be overwhelmed. And who here would like to not be overwhelmed? Give me a me in the chat if you do not want to be overwhelmed in your work. I know when I was an executive director, I certainly felt overwhelmed. I still feel overwhelmed. Feeling overwhelmed is not something that permanently goes away. It's something that we work through so that it doesn't cripple us from doing our work, that it doesn't cause us to be sacrificing our health. For those of you who are watching this on the replay, do me a favor and put a little comment in the chat saying that you're watching on the replay so I know who you are too. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sarah Olivieri. I'm a nonprofit business consultant, #1 international bestselling author, former executive director, and I love helping nonprofits change the way they run so they can really thrive, becoming more financially sustainable and making a bigger impact. Today, I'm going to reveal my 3 reasons, and I have my cards as slides today. So the first reason I want to share with you, I get this all the time. We talked about this on another training recently. EDs are overwhelmed because their board is getting in the way, making their work harder. And this can happen for a lot of reasons, but let me know in the chat, do you have this happening to you? Are you partly overwhelmed because your board is making the job extra hard? I'll get that to focus. Boom. Anybody have this problem? Anybody have this going on? This happens when our board members often, they might have, confusion around board roles. They might not be getting a clear picture from you. So one of the ways you can get your board to stop getting in the way is have a really consistent, easy for you way to be transparent with your board and really highlight and show them what's going on, where the issues are, how you're addressing them. And usually once your board can really see what's going on, provided you're doing a good job as an executive director and your team is doing a good job if you have one, they will stop getting in the way because they're going to really realize how much you have on your plate and how much they want you to be focused on that work. It's also okay to be totally transparent with your board. What percentage of your time is going to supporting them as a board? I know when I ask executive directors this, they usually tell me like 20% of their job is managing board expectations. And while that may never go away, that's still going to be a big job every time. If your board is aware of that and has the opportunity to say, wow, we don't really want our executive director spending 20% of their time and 20% of their salary managing us, maybe we'll see if we can self-manage a little more and let them do their job. So that's the first one. The next one, the next reason why EDs are overwhelmed, I see this a lot, overloaded plate. Now, I did not write wearing too many hats. And the truth is that often as an executive director, we are responsible, we are accountable for everything at the end of the day. But where we really get in trouble is when we take that responsibility and translate it into doing everything, because we can't actually do everything. And if you overload your plate, not only will you feel overwhelmed, but your work will suffer. You will get less done, and what you do get done will be of poorer quality. When executive directors join the Thrive program that I run, it's a 12-month coaching and support program for executive directors. One of the first things they start learning with their teams is how much work can really get done in a 2-week period. And usually what they discover is they have been assuming they can do more than they actually can. They've been overloading their plates. And as soon as they adjust and start putting less on their plate at once, they actually make leaps and bounds improvement, getting more done while doing less at once. So you can feel not overwhelmed because of this reason and simultaneously get more done. So who here's with me? Put in the chat if you can no more overloaded plate, or no OP if you are convinced that you need to stop overloading your plate. Give me a no OP in the chat. Yay, we've got a no OP. No OP for sure. And guess what, executive directors? You can choose this. You have to choose this. You can't do more than you can do. It's just impossible. And the sooner you realize that and choose to do less at one time, the better it will be for you and the better it will be for your nonprofit. It'll probably also ease some of those board relationships because you're going to be doing a better job. This is about prioritizing. This is absolutely about prioritizing first. Yeah. So you have to prioritize. Say, if I can only do one thing today, what's the thing that I do? Ask yourself that. And then start there. That's kind of the short answer to how to prioritize. Once you've prioritized, if you do the most important things first, usually some of the other things on that list go away. So you don't have to take your whole list and prioritize the whole thing. You don't have time for that. You're already overloaded. Just look at the things you need to do and find the top priority or the 2 top priority items and get those done. Right? So you don't have to actually decide what isn't a priority. You just have to pick out the 1 or 2 things that you are sure are a top priority. Double check yourself. Ask somebody, get a mentor, have your board chair, somebody be the person who you can run by to call BS on you if something isn't really a priority. It's hard sometimes if we're looking to see everything ourselves. That's why we need diversity in our organizations, diversity of thought, diversity of background, diversity of input, because that's how we really choose which is truly important. You can do this with your board as well. The third thing is no leadership team. And this one's tricky because you might be thinking, my organization's small, I'm the only one. How can I have a leadership team? But no matter how small you are, even if you're a solo unpaid executive director, you can still create a leadership team. Now, there's 2 sides of this coin. One is building a leadership team, and the other is knowing who your true leadership team is. Just because, let's say you're a bigger organization, just because you have people who are director of this and director of that doesn't mean you have a true leadership team. And this is a really important topic, so important. Actually, our next training is going to be about how to identify who is really on your leadership team. When you have a true leadership team, you can choose, you can prioritize the best so that your plate is not only not overloaded, but you can be really confident that you have the best things that you're focusing on. The best minds all came in who know your situation, and you all figured this out together. It also, when you have a great leadership team, your board may, in fact, be on that with you. You can help get your board to stop getting in the way and start helping move the way forward if you have a great leadership team. You remember in one of the trainings about the board, we talked about your board should be focused on having your back, right? So part of having a great leadership team is eventually getting your board on your leadership team in the way of having your back and helping you think through things. So that's our training for today. Those who have joined me live, hang out. We're going to do Q&A. Those who are watching the recording, if you'd like to sign up, you can click on the link to sign up to get notified of when these trainings are happening